Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is the monstrositous one, your man, your homeboy, your brother from another mother, back at you to talk about some Isom, and this time it's a book review. The last one was um, a unboxing where I talked about how I saw about 4 or 5 other reviews, and that they said that it wasn't as good as what it could have been, and they're right. Matter of fact, they was being lenient on it. In my opinion, this is pretty bad. There's no storyline that really you can follow. There is a storyline to follow, don't get me wrong. And Eric July has some writing chops, but he feels like, I respect the man. I've been following him on Young Ripper 59 for at least a year or two, and I understand he's a comic book reader, avid comic book reader, and his political leanings about the libertarian stuff. I have nothing against any of that. But my problem is that I think he rushed through it. The reason why I bring up his channel is because I think he's an intelligent individual because of the things that I've seen him talk about and the way he breaks down his story, his comic book commentary and all of that stuff. I take him as a pretty intelligent dude. So this is not to insult his intelligence. It's not to knock him in any way. He's a brother, a black dude like me. So I'm really trying to help him out. That's the reason why I bought the book, because I figured I'll give the brother a chance. I hope somebody give me a chance when Might, the graphic novel, comes out, because and I'm going to be using Might to compare to this and to see how he should have handled some of the things. I'm going to talk about 3 or 4 different things. I'm going to first talk about the art in 2 tiers. If I wasn't a creator and a graphic, if I wasn't a creator, writer, artist in my own right, as far as I'm concerned, and then I'm going to do it as a layperson, someone who doesn't. The art, Cliff Richards, is pretty good. If for a layperson, if I was a layperson reading this book, the art is pretty good. But I equate it to Archer, that cartoon that comes on TV. I equate it to that. It's all right, but it's really plain. It's like it's done for animation, so that there's very little details, and that's where I find the the characters in here. He has really good proportions. He can draw. He can do depth of field. He can do backgrounds. He's a good artist. So I'm not trying to knock his art. It's really uh, as an artist though. I've always bought comic books as basically a classroom for myself to learn and learn how to get better with my own drawings and my own art. I'm going to do another video that's going to come out sometime soon after this that will show some of my more recent type drawings, and that way you can judge for yourself what I mean by being an artist and why I say I can't learn from Cliff Richards. And that's the reason why, as an artist, I would give this a lower score, because I don't see none of the things that you see, like cross-hatching and the type of gradation that they use with the cross-hatching to create shadows and depth and gradation out of the heavy black. Here's a book that there's a few books that you could put up to say, look at his work is nothing like this. It has none of the details, none of this gradation, none of the cross-hatching. Well, looks kind of painted, and that's more or less going to be my style, because I'm terrible with the cross-hatching. So this has cross-hatching, and you can see there's the hatching and the cross hatching on the pecs, on the rib cage, on all over the place. This guy got stuff that I can learn from to help improve my art, and that's why I buy comic books. That's why I got into well, that's not why I got into comic books, because when I first started buying comic books, I was a little kid. So I liked it for the art and to learn, too. But it was now, as an adult, I mostly buy to learn. And I haven't bought comic books since Ethan Van Sciver's book. And I wish I had the cash to buy more, because I would have probably gotten all of um, uh, the graveyard shifts and a few others. But I supported Isom because he's a brother, and I supported Ethan Van Sciver. That's the only two, only Comicsgate book I was able to get is Ethan Van Sciver's, because I'm low on cash. My cash ain't as fluid as I want it to be. That's why I'm trying to put out my own shit. And I know that he's Eric July is not CG per se, but he believes in the same shit. So that's why I don't like the art. So as an artist, I would give it a 6, maybe a 5 or a 4. Let me put it plain. As an artist myself, I'd give it about a 5, average. The reason why I would give it less is because there are some of the faces in here, a lot of the faces I don't like. The heads are can go off and kind of get oddly shaped. Like here, this guy's head has a point here, slopes backwards and down. His whole face is just oddly shaped. And it happens a lot. The hairlines go off, especially with the brothers. There's you can see that there's no points, and when brother has closely cropped hair, he keeps his points tight, man. He keeps his line up tight, and there's no line up here. And Cliff Roberts is probably a white guy or Brazilian or something like that, so he don't know. He don't give a fuck. So this is something that a brother should handle. He should have, and there's some the head shapes are kind of off it, and so there's only a couple of spots. I think there's 1 or 2 drawings that I really enjoyed. Well, this one's not a bad one. This is pretty decent right here. But that I really said, wow, this is a good drawing. And this is a good, some good head. Yeah, there was only one time that Cliff Richards gave me some good head. And it was right here with this tiny drawing. I like this one right here. This head was pretty decent, even though it was a little head. So he gave me a little head right here, and then he gave me a bigger head, some bigger head right here. And this one I liked a lot more. This is one of the best ones. He gave me some good head right here. This I'm just joking, man. I'm not into that gay shit, but yo, it was funny. So yeah, so this was the only head that I enjoyed from Cliff Richards. So yeah, other than that, yeah, like I said, around a 4 to 4.5 as an artist. As a layperson, I give it a 6, 7. I give it a 7. It's good. It's good art. The proportions are decent. The backgrounds are good. I don't see really nothing wrong with his body. The shadowing is just that I don't see his head shapes are sometimes awkward and wonky. His face is a little bit off and wonky. But other than that, he's pretty good. He's a pretty damn good artist. So there's going to be a lot of rot in this video. I'm going to be showing a lot of the art because there's a lot of pages where I thought this face I think is a little wonky. His eyes are off a little. And this is me being nitpicky as an artist. And I'm going to be nitpicky with a lot of shit because there's a lot of stuff that I find off-putting. Like these first 3 pages, not necessary in the book. And right here it says, West Flores Park, Uptown, 2 weeks ago. So this is 2 weeks ago, and he's talking about this guy's talking about, he's some political leader, and he's talking about how the crime is down, and this guy's talking about how he don't get no credit. So in this next scene, he's talking about how he brought the finances back, at least. So I'm thinking the credit that he's talking about is financial, has something to do with money. But in this very next scene, this kid talks about how it's the superhero's been kicking ass lately. So I get that. So in my opinion, this and this should be switched. This should be moved here, and this should be moved here, because right directly after him talking about getting credit, he should be talking about, well, it's these superheroes popping up lately, and lately they've been kicking ass. And on top of shit, we gotta give him props. This guy props for bringing the finances into interview and to cleaning shit up. So, and that's why I'm saying there's little shit like that you needed a better editor. If you got somebody to read this shit, they didn't fucking give you no real feedback, because this shit should have been handled. And there's a lot of things. There's no reveals. There's only one or two places where there's any world building that I could talk about. And that's one where after he gets put in the hospital, I'm jumping around because he got put in the hospital, and when they was talking about it, they talked about accepts. Here they talked about accepts, and he asked the nurse if you knew that he had these oddities as far as determining him being an accept. Why did you put him on the first floor? So, are there floors designed specifically for accepts? Why aren't you telling me this, Eric? Why is everything so fucking cryptic? And that's what this whole book is like. Everything is cryptic. Information that should be given to us to help world build is not given to us. And it would have only taken one or two lines. You know they should have been. They should be up on the fourth floor, the second floor, the fifth floor, in the basement, anything, and that would have handled that. But there's a lot of scenes like this where one or two words could have filled out the exposition to make the point more relevant and to build your world and start your world building. But there's hardly no world building at all. The only world building in here that I got is that this dude says that they have a database that they keep accepts on. So, but it's not complete. So that's the only world building that I understand that happens in this world, that the hospitals have a database of accepts. But outside of that, you have no kind of, you can't gauge the power abilities, their power levels. You don't know what their powers are. So after this opening, the lady comes in and into his office because he kicks them out. They start, after they talk about this over here, he's talking about this dude is talking about some woman that, did you see that woman in red, this, that, and the next, and this guy starts talking about some other shit, and which is irrelevant, and homeboy just kicks him out of his office. And then the woman comes in and said that you wanted me to let you know, and that she's back. Right? It says right here, she's back. And so I'm thinking that this is setting up this next scene with Yaira kicking the cop's ass. Right? But it doesn't seem like it, and for this reason. This 3-page opening happened 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago. And then right here, it says earlier. Earlier, Shadow Valley, outskirts of Flores Park. Is this earlier 2 weeks ago? Is this earlier 2 weeks ago? Or is this earlier in today? So I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. You got me lost. And if this is 2 weeks ago and she's back 2 weeks ago, why is a few pages later she fighting the cops? Why? If this is 2 weeks ago. You got me lost here. Is it earlier today? Now? Has the time jumped back into regular time? Why? And here in the part where right after the opening, you see his ranch, and he's training, so he keeps up on his fitness. All right. He's training, and then he gets a call from his sister with the the circumstance that gets him into action. She calls. Why do we not know here? Projexus headquarters. Why doesn't it say Projexus is a company that deals in this, that, and the next, and the CEO is the sister or the whoever she is. Later on in the book, I thought she was her company. So later on in the book, when she says she works for somebody else, I'm like, oh shit. Why can't you tell me this? Why is everything so fucking cryptic? Even stuff that should not be cryptic. I should know. I should understand who she is in Projexus. I should understand that. Being that there's not really relevant, there's no real relevance to the story whether she's in Projexus or not. But they make sure to let you know she's in Projexus headquarters, but they don't tell you what Projexus is all about or who she is in Projexus. So he automatically, that's another thing. I didn't understand what the relationship between the sister and brother is. She calls and asks him to help out with this chick Jasmine that went disappeared, and he immediately says, no, fuck that. So then the only reason why he does it is because she says, I'ma tell mama. Nah. What she does is say that Mrs. Newsom is mama's friend and Jasmine is Mrs. Newsom's daughter. So because on the strength of Big Mama and Mrs. Newsom is Big Mama's friend, I don't like this because it makes me think, and I kind of know that young Ripper was raised by a single mother. So it kind of make me think, he was raised in a single mother family because he got so much. The dude, I think he's around 30. I don't know because he doesn't tell me any of this, but in my opinion, from the way the story's going with him and knowing some of the synopsis from the campaign, this dude is probably a little on the older side, late 20s, in his 30s, because he had time to become a superhero. He quit for several years, and now he's being brought back in. So I'm giving him time to become somebody and then quit and then time off and then come back, buying and owning a ranch, all of this stuff. And that's another thing I don't understand. Where he get the money to quit and buy a ranch? How do his finances work to where he got so much money to buy a ranch? Is his working as a superhero contingent on some kind of financial kickbacks? I don't know. Eric, you ain't telling me shit. This is information that should be in this book. You're not giving me an origin story, so you should at least be world building and explaining some of these things. Because if I gotta wait for the second book to find out these little facts, I'm not going to want the second book because you're going to be so busy trying to catch up with the little facts you missed in this book that the second book is going to be bullshit. Where's the story going to? And that's another thing with this book. There is no leading me down some trail letting me know that the bad guy has shit in his irons in the fire. The bad guy is just an antagonist that has to do with this girl missing. We don't understand that. They say he's big time. They say he's all this, but we don't know shit. We don't know that he's taking over shit. He's trying to take over the city. We don't know anything. And so he finally decides to go in and change and wash up, and he lets his foreman know. Here's another part that fucks me up because I seen this guy here and I didn't even pay him no mind. Even though he talks to him, I didn't pay him no mind. So when he shows up again later, I Cole is forgotten out of my memory, and I'm thinking that this dude is delivering shit to the ranch, and the black dude was actually the one working there until recently when I did this video already, and it was 40 minutes. I was going into 40 minutes. That's how much shit, and I'm already 20 minutes in, and I haven't gotten to none of the shit that I really want to talk about. I got to the art, and I done that review. I got there quicker, and now I'm into this. But the stuff I want to come to later on is telling you how this story could have been better, dealing with just this story, how he put it out, Eric July put it out, and then what I would have done to make it better. And because I think this story is low rate, I think it's too bottom shelf, meaning Eric said that he wanted to start out with street level crimes and stuff like that. I think it's way too street level. For his first book, I don't want to see no low rate superhero. I expected him to be way more powerful and more intricate into what's going on in the happenings of the city. And he just doesn't. The story does not come across like that. Darren comes off as somebody who just come up off of a street corner, and he got a club and he's starting to build something, but that's it. And as far as the girl is concerned, he's a pimp and a club owner. But they want you to believe he's something more than that. He's some mover and shaker that's running shit. And I just don't see it in the story. So I got problems with all of that. So he goes in here and he's questioning whether he should do, and that he has to go back to the city, that he doesn't like it, and there's going to be a lot of rot. Rot is spoilers. I'm going to be showing a lot of art and stuff because I need for you to see what I'm talking about, and some of the stuff that I'm showing and that I'm talking about. So he leaves, heading to the city, like he says, and now they show Yaira. It says somewhere where you don't want to be. Why? Why is it somewhere I don't want to be? There's nothing really happening here except for, who is these? These regular civilians, and is Yaira doing this to them? Is Yaira fucking these two dudes up? And then the police is coming in to help the civilians against Yaira? Who the fuck is Yaira? Why is she fucking beating up the police? If this is Yaira, why does this look like a big honking loogie that she's spitting on? It looks like a big hunk of spit. A super spit that she super spat on this dude. It's either, I'm just joking, but it's either ice or water from what I could tell. It doesn't look like no beam, energy beam. And then you got a cut that's way. So I'm thinking it's more ice. So you got this ice chick that it cuts his head, and then she's like, yo, I'm Yaira, bitch. And but she's kicking ass. But for what? We don't understand. The police is here, and we don't understand what's going on. And she goes in to fuck up the cops because they shooting at her, and here comes Alpha Core, knocks her back for a loop. She kicks him back, and then homegirl lassos her leg with some kind of energy tie or rope or whatever. And then she doesn't tighten it up on her leg. See, it's loose there and it's really loose here. And then the next thing you know, she's popping her. And they fight, and she basically gets spittooned in the back. Oh man, nah, she gets shot with some kind of, I don't know what it is, if it's ice or what. Why aren't you letting me know? Why is everything so fucking much a mystery, man? Why is it so goddamn cryptic? So then Crew Cut homie comes in and catches her because she goes flying, and then they introduce Alpha Core. How come they're telling her their names? Okay, I guess they told Yaira. It's good enough to tell their names, but their power sets, what they control, who they are, what their affiliations, none of that. You can't fucking know. All we know, we have to assume that they work with the cops. I think they said that. They work with the cops, we have to assume that they work with taking down incels, but they work on taking out accepts, and the cops like, yeah, so what's going on? And that's it. It's not really much going. It's not really much, man. I'm telling you, the story is really base. It's really, really base, and I'm shocked because Eric July seemed to know. If you read enough comic books, you can basically tell uh, how to tell a story, and basically it's getting your holes plugged and all that. And he has writing chops. The story seems to have something that wants to go somewhere, but he just doesn't give you that somewhere that it wants to go. So he's inexperienced, and that's what I have. I think he rushed it, and his inexperience and rushing to get the shit out cost him. Cost him a lot. So, Avery finally shows up at Club Merc. That's Darren's club, and he just asked politely, "Well, what's going on? Can I speak to the boss?" And they immediately start getting hostile. But that's because he wasn't. This guy wasn't given any information that somebody was going to be coming. So, but even so, if he's running a business, I don't think he should be jumping so quick to hostility. He would find out who the fuck this guy is first before he's like, yo, I wasn't told about you, so back the fuck off. But he kind of comes at him hard, and Avery says, yo, I just need to talk to the boss. And then the guy says, yo, who is it? And when he comes in, they got the artist. I don't know why he's got this supposedly big boss dude, thugged out club boss dude, has got his arms flailing like that. Is he touching the homeboy on the arm and saying what's up? Either way, homeboy looks effeminate. He looks kind of gay. And this scene was brought up on Ethan Van Sciver's channel when the launch of this book first happened, and Eric was on there. John Malin asked him if he was feeling homeboy's dick. And this is what looks like he's doing. But it's worse than that. It's like you see those gates in the courtroom that separates the forward place where the judge and the attorneys are from the gallery or from the people watching, the onlookers. Yeah, well, this is what that's like. If the homeboy was pitching a tent, and oh shit, if homeboy was pitching a tent and it was sticking out across here, and it was sticking out across him, he's like, he pushed that shit open, and he's like, okay, put that thing away, Samuel. And see, like, he was pushing that shit out of the way, and then when he moved past it, said, back into place. But anyway, another thing about the art is I told you about, I didn't like the points on this, and so here again, this guy, the artist, he really fucked up these guys' points. Guys, black dudes with this low haircut, I don't know if it's the same today, but when I was younger, man, we kept our points tight. We kept our lineups tight. Again, I don't know with this nappy head look that a lot of brothers is going with today. I don't know if they're keeping their lineups tight anymore. So, that was one of my issues, but he welcomes him in, and he's talking down about him almost immediately. He's talking about how he ain't really did nothing with his life, and you come looking for a job, you want to work in the kitchen, that shit seems highly disrespectful. And for Eric July, who claims that he was once a corner boy, I figured that this shit would be, even if Avery wasn't a corner boy, he's a superhero. He understands dealing with roughnecks, that you gotta have a certain degree of force, that you gotta show a certain degree of force. You can't just come in there being all kind of pussed out and let somebody start ragging on you when you looking for information. Even though I can understand he's looking for information, he don't want to rock the boat too soon. But he's a superhero. He should be able to kick all these dudes' asses with no problem, and if he comes to that, he just rough up homeboy. But he's like, yo, I just want to know about homegirl. I just really came here to find out about homegirl. And he's like, yo, what are you, a detective now? What? He said, yo, just let me know whether she's here or not. So he goes, yo, come follow me. Now, right there, he's dissing. He come all out his face, right out the gate. Anybody with any power or strength, fortitude, some kind of manly fortitude, is going to be like, hold on 1 second. Just let me know. I don't want to follow you. I just want to find out what the fuck is going on. Do you know the chick or not? But he's follow me. And he just walks off, leads him deeper into the club. If he's already this hostile, disrespecting you, talking low about you, that you ain't this and you looking for a job, you could work in my kitchen. Come on, man. I would have been automatically ready to start some shit. But Avery is real peaceful like. He sees these people gathering around behind him because I think he says something here. Oh, he asked him to sit down. He said, nah, I'm good. And he said this is not a request. That he wants him to sit down. So he sits down because of these bitch-ass motherfuckers coming up behind him. So again, I'm thinking that he's just trying to get information. He ain't trying to rock the boat before he gets the information. But again, he's a superhero. He's stronger than these dudes. Why should he take these insults? And these dudes flexing. This is like in Samuel L. Jackson Shaft movie when he made that dude flinch, and the homeboy say, "Why you flinch?" Yeah, you're not supposed to do that in black culture. If you a thug, man, if somebody flexes on you, you're supposed to stand straight up and look at that dude. If he's gonna hit you, then he just hit you. At least you stood up there like a man. I know it's stupid, but you stood up like a man and you took your lump. You took your L or whatever it was. But you don't sit there and let a dude just fucking punk your ass. And he's letting this dude punk him. And he goes in on him right here. He starts going in on homeboy, talking about how fine his sister is and how much more of an athlete and academically better she was, and that he wasn't shit on the football team, and he kind of like didn't care that they didn't really try to get him a spot, and all of this bullshit, man. And this is the only face that I like besides the only head that Cliff Richards gave me besides the brother in the back. So yeah, so he's dissing hard, and he basically is like, yo, whatever's going on between me and Jasmine is between us, so fuck you. He basically tells him to go fuck himself. And he's eating it all. He's eating it all. By this time, I would have been long time said, yo, brother, you can't fucking talk to me like this. We got to go to blows. And he's like, nah, what you gonna do is you gonna handle shit this way and the next way, and you gonna keep Jasmine out your mouth and all this shit. And then he tells homeboy to get this motherfucker application so he can work in the kitchen. And then he finally says, yo, so what? Yo, you ain't gonna tell me what's going down? He said, yo, this is... And then he finally starts wanting to talk up. And when homeboy's like, yo, what am I got to do to get this motherfucker? He finally sends homeboy to go handle him. And then all of a sudden now, Avery wants to get mad after he throws homeboy across the room. Now he wants to tell him, yo, you can't talk to me like that. Get the fuck out of here. You should have been yoked homie up. You should have been checked that dude's shit. You should have been put him in his spot long time ago. So then homeboy starts taking swings at him. Dudes start running up. Jump up to get beat down. And Avery handles them with no problem. ducking, smash. This is another part I didn't like. This, is he punching him 2 times? Is this the first punch? He ducks, then he punches him, and then he's punching him again? Is this the second punch that crushes his shit all in and bleeds him out? Or is this the one punch that they want to show that he just caved his whole shit in? Otherwise, this one should have been his arm coming back and then going forward, and this one should have been this bloody shit. If he hit him twice. If he hit him only once, then that's what this should have been. This should have been the bloody shit right here. So I don't understand if he hit him once or he hit him twice. And then he starts handling these dudes, and they get dealt with, and then he says, yeah, well, this is your light work. That's all you got for me? And he says, yo, well, that was my elite will handle my light work. And then you see Santuan pop up. He goes, elite? And Santuan's behind him. And Santuan's, yo, you're going to have to get dealt with. And then Santuan starts dealing him some punches. And for the most part, this is okay, except for Santuan. Santuan is faster than him. It seems like Santuan is handling him with no problem. He's standing there with his arms folded, and then pow! Next thing you know, he's fucking knocked. And then when he swings, he whiffs. So that means this big ass motherfucker is fast and he's strong. He yokes him up and body slams him. So I just don't understand. Is the power, this is again my problem, how strong, how fast is Avery? I don't understand any of these guys' power sets. How strong is Santuan? Because I don't understand the power sets. I don't understand the power ranges, the power gauge. I don't understand the power. Who are these people? But I'm not getting any of that from this story. And this is a thing that happens several times in the book. People yoked him up by the neck. People are getting yoked up by the neck and slammed around multiple, like 5, 6 times in the book. Santuan yokes him up. He yokes some people up. Yaira yokes Avery up. It's just one after the other, the same move. Yoke a brother up by the neck, punch him, slam him into the ground. It's the same shit. Find another move, Richards. Find another move. This is cornball. And this old, after he yokes him up by the neck, punches him a couple times, Avery tries to kick him in the face. He does kick him in the face. Again, how strong is Avery? How come he didn't loose him? How come after that kick, he didn't loose the dude? Because we never see him get a punch off on the dude, so how strong is Avery? This punch looked like he ain't all that strong. Because he didn't knock him down. Homeboy just ate that shit and came back for seconds. And he still got him yoked up and slams him into the ground, and that's it. Party's over. Game over, man. Game over, dude. Then he just takes him out and chucks this motherfucker. And the thing that I said about a half a mile away, he chucks this fool and he flies a half a mile away and slams into Yaira. And this is that shit about Critical Drinker where she has to be put in because the plot calls for her to be put into the story. It doesn't make any sense. The plot needs her to be here to have this interaction because otherwise, why would she slam directly into who's this fucking Santuan? How did just by happenstance, he walks out and flings this dude and he goes for a half a mile in the exact direction of Yaira and slams into her. They crash to the ground, and Yara jumps up and immediately starts wanting to go at him. Why? If he was somebody who was trying to get at her, he wouldn't have slammed into her. He would have punched her or tackled her ass to the ground or into a wall or something. But bumping into her and them two falling into the ground, even though I guess she wouldn't have seen it coming because it hit her in the back, it doesn't make sense that she instantly is assuming that this dude, that Avery, is part of the Alpha Corps. She thinks he's an undercover agent, and then she kicks him. Okay, I don't understand neither one of these guys' power set. Again, I'm saying this because how strong is she? He blocks her kick after being thrown and slammed and thrown it. He was just knocked the fuck out because he slammed him into a ground from what, 6 feet? Knocked the fuck out. But he throws this dude for half a mile. Slams into him, falls like a couple of stories, slams into the ground, and he jumps right up and he's blocking her kick. How strong is he? Please let me know how strong is Avery and how strong is Yara, because she's kicking him and he blocks it with no problem. And then because of that, she's like, yo, who the fuck are you? It gives him a reprieve and then just bum rushes him. She's faster than him, because this seems to insert in here that she's pretty quick. She gets to him and yokes him up by the throat. Flies him up into the air. Yoked up. And he's talking about, yo, man, I'm tired of getting yoked, hurting my ass whooped. And then she just takes his ass and flings him. And later on they talk about how he just fell. No, she flings him up and over her head. Look, she's pointing down, looking down at the ground. She fucking hoists him up over her head and flings him to the ground. And he goes flying down, and he's talking again. Is this a thought bubble, or are these narrations? Because if these are thought bubbles, he's thinking, yo, man, I got all these abilities, and why he flings them to the ground, all of my power sets, the one thing I can't do is fly. And she throws this dude down, I wouldn't have, because right here, he crashes into the fucking cab, right? And this is where he says, yo, flying ain't one of them, right? He can't fly. He got all these abilities to fly. Here's where he should have said, flying ain't one of them. Because by the time he's hitting this motherfucker, so this is either a thought bubble or a narration. I don't know which one it is, because it sounds like a fucking thought bubble, but it seems more like a narration. So use thought bubbles or get the narrations right. If he's talking into the past, get your tense. He should be talking in past tense with all of these thought bubbles. It should not come across as if he was in the moment and thinking of this shit right at that time. And that's what it comes across. And that means to me that it's thought bubbles. He's thinking these things. And with the art right here, with the explosion, with her hurling him down into the ground the way she did. Again, how strong are they? These glass on the side should have exploded outward. All of this should have exploded outward. All of this should have exploded outward. All of this glass should have exploded. This shit should have concaved down to the ground. The car should have practically folded up. That's what I want to see. But there I get the most tame ass impact. And then, and right here, you see the Alpha Corps around the car. They should have been here blocking the glass from splashing out and cutting the bystanders. Nothing wrong. I heard people was complaining about the ad. What the fuck is wrong with the ad? Nothing wrong with the ad. And then, we're back at his farm. We're back at the ranch, and I get lost here because I think that this guy is the ranch hand and that the white boy is delivering the groceries or the supplies. But again, Why aren't you letting me know? They're talking elusively here. Nobody's saying what the supplies are that he's bringing. Why these supplies are needed. He's talking about he needed to. The old man's talking about how he needed to change his the field that he is planting in, that he's reallocating. And so I don't know. They're not telling me what kind of farm, what kind of ranch, what kind of supplies are needed. Again, why is this information so cryptic? Why is it a mystery? They're not telling me. Why can't I learn about this world? Why can't you learn me? Learn me this poem about the world. Learn that poem. Learn that poem. Learn me this poem. Teach me this fucking poem about this world that you're in. Why can't I learn that he's on a cattle ranch? I learned that later on. Why can't I learn that kind of supplies that are being brought? Or why can't I learn what kind of supplies this guy is picking up? What kind of business is Avery in? Or is it just training and stuff like that? Why can't we learn these things? This is world building. This should not be held over for what's it for a cliffhanger. World building is not a cliffhanger. This is world building. I should know what's going on with Homeboy. I should get to understand what's going on in the world. And all of this is cliffhanged or just said, fuck you, you don't have no right to know these things. Why, Eric? Why don't I have a right to know these things? And then he goes on to the dude that I finally realized is the same dude from the beginning, the foreman, I guess, because I confused whether the black dude is the foreman that working on the ranch or the white dude is the foreman. And then when I was, just before I did the first video, as I was doing it, and I was flicking through the page, and he was talking to this white kid, I realized, oh, okay, he already established that this dude is his foreman, and I lost it because your story is Slipshot. Oh, Slipshot is good. Slipshot is good. Slipshot is a character name. I just created. I just created. You seen it live, people. Slipshot. That's a character. Y'all can have that one. Yeah, I got thousands of them. Right here, the dude confuses me again because he says, okay, I've had enough talking to you. It's time to go. I'm going to close up shop. And then he doesn't close up shop. He immediately says, yo, I want you dudes to work. I thought you was closing down shit. So why is these dudes got to keep working? But Homeboy says, nah, he got to go. He got to go somewhere. And he gets the brother to stay and do the work because he said he need the money. So, okay. Again, I thought you just said that you was closing down shop. Why can't Homeboy go home? It should have been said, I'm closing down shop, but if one of you want to make some overtime, y'all can stay, and that would have been better. I would have been happier with that. But that's not what he does. He says, yo, man, I'm closing down shop, and then turns to them and says, yo, I need somebody of y'all to stay and do this extra work. What? I thought you was closing down shop. So anyway, we in the hospital where Avery wound up. It seems the Alpha Corps dropped him off at the hospital, and this is the only exposition that we get to learn. Any world building that we get to learn, we learn that the hospital keeps a database on accepts. And though they don't really know but that Avery is an accept, they suspect because of the damage that he took. They say he was dropped from the sky. That he was dropped on a taxi. No, he was hurled into a taxi, and that's one of my peeves because I'm not learning the power sets of these characters. I don't understand how strong. I think Yaira is stronger by far than Avery, but I don't know that. I'm just speculating. From the first fight, it seemed like Santuan is extremely more powerful, faster than Avery. But again, I don't know that because there's no kind of gauge to go by. There's no kind of understanding that they're trying to. Avery doesn't say it. Avery doesn't say, yo, I fought this dude once and he's faster than I thought. So I got to adjust my thing. Nothing like that. It's just, yo, I fought this dude once and now the second time I fight him, it's something be something. So we see Avery. Oh yeah, and then we see that here's some more world building that they could have fucking done, but you fucked up the church's money, Eric. She's saying that she understands that there are accept stuff that going on with Avery. That he came in, he wasn't in a coma, but he was unconscious. He wasn't responsive. So and he says. That's interesting. I don't know why that's interesting. If he thinks he's an accept, why would that be interesting? That he's not in a coma, that he's only unresponsive. He should expect anything. It shouldn't be interesting. So she then goes. He then comes into. They come in the room and he says and see that Avery ain't there and says why if you understand all these things about accepts and the oddities that was going on with Avery, how come you didn't? Why did you place him on the first floor? So right there, that asks to me the question that I ask is there another floor where accepts are specifically put? Is the second floor, the first floor, the second, third, fourth floor, the basement, anything else, any place else where they're specifically put accepts? Because to me, that makes a difference. It makes a big difference because if they rampage out and start tearing shit up, it makes sense that something would be more reinforced or something is more secure. They have something in there, but they don't tell you. Again, you're left to fucking say, fuck yourself. We're not telling you that type of information. So even though we know that they keep a database on accepts, we don't have no kind of power scales. We don't have no kind of invulnerability scales so that they understand how to treat these motherfuckers. And they bring up something that leave you cold, starving for, which it should let you know so that you know that there's different places that they allocate for accept treatment, health treatment, and stuff like that. But they don't let you know that. They just leave you hang. And I say they because Eric is working with an artist that and he has some kind of a script to work from. How come he's not saying, yo, how come this? Why not that? Yo, ask questions. Why are you just drawing and not asking questions about what's going on? So Avery is wandering around. And oh yeah, the nurse talks about some bracelet that he had, and then we find out here that Avery's got some kind of ankle bracelet, and he takes it off and he puts it on his wrist. So why didn't the nurse remove it? Usually they foreign shit like that, they remove it from your body, and they put it in your property bag. But they let him keep it. He took it off with no problem. He doesn't explain if there's a lock on it. I don't even think that she explained whether there was a lock on it or not. Y'all can tell me if y'all read the book. Y'all can tell me in my comments. So there's a ping that goes off. Why it pinged? If he pinged it, I don't know. If it automatically pings, I don't know anything. So anyway, it pings. And he's wandering around because he left the hospital on his own. And she pulls, and a car pulls up. A car pulls up, and in the next panel we see it's his sister. But look at this. He has to walk. The car is there. He has to walk from here to there before he can get before he can even get to the car, before he can get in. And she's asking him what's up. She says, there you are. And he says, thanks, keep the car running. So why would he tell her to keep the car running? Why would she turn it off when there's all these cars behind her? Trucks, buses, right behind her, blocking the road, and none of them is honking. he had to walk from here to there, and she's got the road blocked up. She's there taking her time for him to get in the court, and nobody's honking. But okay. And then he tells her to not to turn off the car. Why would she turn off the car? Mistake. I know it's nitpicky, but shit. It's like I said, there's so much of it. So anyway, he gets in the car and immediately she starts talking about, something about, I'm going to tell Ma if you go there. Why? Why would she tell Mom? Y'all are grown-ass people. Why would he care? I didn't even understand what was happening. I just got a message on the GPS and your location. I fell on a car. He said I fell on a car. No, you was thrown through the car. The way that bitch hurled your ass. And went to see the doctor. I got out. It's nothing. So again, what are the power sets? How come he didn't get injured? How strong, how durable he is? Do I have to buy the cards in order to find that is? And if I do, that's fucked up. If I had to buy trading cards to find out his power set, to find out how durable he is, that should be something that collects the information into one spot so that you can find it out quickly. But in the books, some of the shit should be spooned out here and there so that you can understand the man. So, you think I'm stupid? You're still in a hospital gown. So it goes on, and he says that she says something about him being not going through with this anymore, and that she was gonna tell his mom. And I was like, oh, come on, that big mama shit. Why would he care? Why would she think that he would care? Why would you tell on him? Why? Why would you worry your mother over some shit like that? Come on. This is the reason why you asked him to come. Now you talking about you gonna tell mommy? And that's what bothers me with that's why I'm saying this big mama thing where you have to always answer. They did the same thing with Luke Cage, that he has to answer to Big Mama and all. Come on, all of these women. It's the same thing with Black Panther. All of these women he got to answer to and check in with. That's that Big Mama syndrome. The black man always got to fucking check in with Mama or his sister or before he does anything, or some woman to let him know he's doing the right thing. Get the fuck out of here. And so he's like, it's my bad, I knew some stuff and I didn't. And here it is. This ain't on you. Just don't tell Mama about this. Why would he say that? Why are you so scared that your mom's gonna whoop your ass? Come on, man. You really made him look like a bitch to me. To me, you made him, because I was from that street game. I wasn't in it the way you might have been in it, but I was real adjacent. I was drug dealer adjacent. I was corner boy adjacent like a motherfucker. I drove motherfuckers for re-ups. I drove motherfuckers around to do dirt. I was there in the midst of dirt. I did a lot of shit, so I don't see, well, nobody said that Avery was an ex-corner boy, but I figure if he's strong, he's got these powers, and he's been a superhero, that he should have some kind of fortitude. Because they say in story creating with bad guys and good guys, that the good guys share the same types of qualities that the bad guys do. So if that's the case, how come he's such a bitch? He worried about his mommy. So yeah, that put me a little off, but it wasn't nothing major. That's just my opinion. That's neither here or there. I wouldn't change it because I wouldn't change the story because of that. But all of these leaving out the story, I mean world building aspects, and some of the aspects of the storytelling in here is kind of funky. So he then says that he wants her to take it to the to get his car out of the impound, and to take me to the nearest impound because that's where his car is, and he got his change of clothes in there. Why does he have a change of clothes in his car? I don't understand that. There's no explanation for why he would have an extra pair of clothes in the car. But he got an extra pair of clothes in the car. And here's where we find out because we see cows out here. So one of the helper hands is talking to the white boy, and we see that there's cattle, but they're not really talking on that. They're not explaining that he's got a cattle ranch and he does business with cattle, and this will be a great time to explain some of this shit, but they don't. It's basically just shooting the shit until Avery calls, and let me see if I'm right about that. I never considered farm life career. You don't. Yeah, it's nothing. They talking about the enrichment of the shit about going. It's mostly talking about how people take for granted what the city life to farm life, because everything is already picked and on the shelf for them, and farmers really got to do all the work. That's basically what he said, and then it's all about Avery calling. The ring down here, and Avery calls, and he's letting them know that he ain't coming back, and that he might be gone for either a day or a few days. It could be a few days. And if you just going back to whoop on Santuan and Darren because they ain't lightweights, they really lightweights. There's nothing happening in this story that's letting me know that there's something happening with Darren and his business. There's nothing expanding. He's not taking over the city as far as I can tell, because there's no storyline talking about that. He's not taking over other crime organizations. There's nothing indicating that. There's nothing saying anything about anything. You have no awareness of his scope or where he might be leading to. Nothing like that. It's just the basic story that you are involved in is that Avery is looking for this girl, and he got his ass kicked, and now he wants to go back to look for revenge and maybe find the girl. And so he's talking to his sister, I guess, on the phone, which is something that really is unnecessary. That could be cut out. And then he's just sitting out here. A lot of this shit could be cut out. He's just sitting out, and he's sitting in a parking lot or something for some other club, and some white kid comes up and says, "Yo, man, can I help you? If you want to eat or something, you come inside." And he's like, "Nah, I'm not really wanting to eat. I'm just looking for information. What about the Merc? Do y'all know anything? Is there girls over at the Merc or something like that?" And he's trying to find out. He asks questions, and he's like, "All I know is that that's the spot. If you're looking for the spot, that's the spot." Not saying much. There's no kind of exposition letting you know that, yo, that's dangerous, yo, that's, they handle real shady shit over there. I hear there's a lot of gang activity. There's nothing leading you to say that this dude, Darren, is some big cheese in the underworld game. Nothing. And he's basically trying to find out where Jasmine is, homegirl. And so he basically doesn't really give him much. He just says that's the spot. If you're looking for a spot to go, that's the spot. But it's too high for my taste. The money is too fucking highbrow for my taste. I can't afford to go there. So Avery drives off and he heads over towards the club. And this whole scene, I do not understand. This whole club scene, and we understand that it's the club because I do believe that the same white boy with the skin, the shaved sides of his head, and the beard. I do believe that's him, and I do believe that's the same club. So I'm thinking that this is Club Merc. But whoever these characters are, I don't really know. I don't think they mentioned any names. Let me see. Nah, they didn't mention any names. So again, everything is fucking cryptic. Yeah, she asked about what do you see? He says? Yeah, this is a club. It's rich folks and and bitch asses trying to pretend to be rich. So there's nothing really going on in this. It's just stuff thrown in. I don't understand what's supposed to be happening. You just described entire, yeah. How you're talking about the entirety of Floss, and what's this? Floxen City. But anyway, you know what I'm talking. Flores Park, yeah. That's the entirety. Everybody like that in Flores Park. They pretenders or they rich. They pretending to be rich, right? And it just really, there's nothing here. While remaining discreet or blending in, it's a perfect city for visitors, and that is what to be crucial. So fucking what? This is not world building. This is just random shit you throwing out into the ether. This is not world building. So we see, I don't know who these people are, so why are you even focused on them? You don't tell me who they are and their relevancy to the story, so why are you focused on them? This is 2 pages that could have been used for something way better. You see him out there, and he's in his red hoodie this time because he had on a shirt, a button-up. So now he's got a red hoodie and gray pants on. Before he had a red shirt and gray pants. So he's got a spare pair of clothes in his car, and they're the same exact color of the other shit that he had on. I don't get that. But then later on in the book, he's got an absolutely different color set on. All right, at the very end, and that becomes more cryptic than everything. The end is the worst part of the dialogue shit. The last part with his costume shit is the worst part of the dialogue because everything there is like, I don't believe none of it. So then he's coming into here, he's checking around, he's walking around the backside of the club, and he's talking to himself, and he's around Club Merc, and he goes to the back somewhere, and he walks up on a few people, and he walks on this one chick, and I don't know if he hasn't seen this chick in a minute because it seemed to me that he doesn't really give a fuck. In the beginning, when his sister asked to check out, it's like he hadn't seen her in a minute, just like he hadn't seen his sister in a minute, and her daughter, and that's going to come up later on. And so I don't see how he instantly recognized her. He walked. Is this her walking past him? And then he turns around and that's possible that this could have been her walking past him, and he spotted her from the front and then turned around. But you don't see that. You don't really get that. It looks like he walks up behind it. If this is her, then it doesn't look like he walks up behind her. But if this is her, then that means he flipped around, and it's right here. This one he should have been turning around, and then he could have pulled his hood down and said, "Yo, is that you, Jasmine?" And she's like, "Avery?" It's like instantly she knew that it was him. Why? Why would you, if you don't know him, if you haven't seen him in a minute, why would you expect that it's him? You know his voice that well? It's possible. But usually when you someplace you don't want to be, and somebody says something, you're not going to recognize that voice and then you're going to be real evasive because you don't want them to know what your business is all into. And he's asking her what's up with her, and she's basically being evasive. And that her mother is worried about it. She says, "Oh no," and then she immediately basically runs off. He says, "Yo, what's going on with you? Is everything all right?" And she basically just runs off after that, because these motherfuckers say, "Hey," and she takes off. She gets in the wind, and he's like, he says, "Yo." She takes off, and she's like, "He's Jasmine," and he's like, "Yo, stop harassing the chick," and then grabs him. Why would he instantly grab homie? If she's working, he don't know if this dude is a customer. He should be a little less aggressive with his manhandling. But he just walks right up and grabs homie and be like, "Yo, you harassing the chick and this and the next." He's like, "Yo, I wasn't harassing, but I need some questions answered." And he turns around, he asks, "Yo, why would you aggressively put your hands on a person right out the gate?" And yeah, that makes sense to me. Why would you just walk up to a motherfucker, especially when you just supposed to be, I guess, the pimp, looking out for the girls? You don't know if this dude is trying to buy something and you make a deal. So why would you just walk up there and chase off a customer or look to kick this dude's ass when he's could be a potential customer? So I did think that this was a little bit handled a little bit too aggressively, like he puts up here. And then he turns around and I would have handled this different. I would have definitely had it to where he was like, "Hold on, homeboy, don't I ain't harassing her, but being that you here, I got some questions for you." And then that's when the hostility could have flowed. Questions? What questions you got for me? Motherfucker, either you buying or you stepping. One of the two. You ain't got nothing over here. And then that hostilities could have ensued. This is a little bit forced to me. So, like I said, it's nitpicky, but it's there. There's a lot of it. So, if this dude is stronger, is this white boy accept? Because immediately, he should have fucking been able to rip his arm off with no problem. But homeboy's got his hand on him, and then it takes him to grab his wrist and then yoke him up. There we go again with the yoking up by the throat. And he slams home, he lifts him up. They do the same thing every time. Slam him into the ground. And then instead of raising up with an elbow in homeboy's jaw, he stands up over homeboy and then smacks him. I think he should have just raised up with an elbow. When he was coming up, just lift up with an elbow, because he knows homeboy's right there coming at him. So he raises up. Okay, that's the artist's fault. That's Eric is the creator and the writer, so he should have made sure he handled these things. But this is nitpicky, so that's nothing much. But I'm nitpicky because it's so low grade. He's fighting a bunch of nobodies. And it's his Luke Cage, man. This is Luke Cage, the TV show, not even the fucking comic book. This is Luke Cage, the TV show. And it's just corny to me. So, he goes back and starts fucking these dudes, to fuck these dudes up. They're like, yo, hold on. Yo, what are you coming? Yo, you gotta go around the front, man. This is not the entrance. And he immediately attacks them. He like, yo, puts his hand up, yo, chill. And he attacks them. He attacks the motherfuckers. He punches homie out and then yokes up the other dude. You can see him flying over there. Hold on. Because it's in the shadows. There we go. You see him flying over there. And so, and then he yokes him up by the neck. See what I'm talking about? Everybody's getting yoked up by the neck. And this is egregious because there's two scenes back here where the action part is what I want to see. And you cut it out. Cliff Richards, you cut out the most important part of the scene. This guy's coming in here, and he's telling him, yo, open the door, and otherwise go, and this is selling Woof tickets. I hate motherfuckers selling Woof tickets. Talking all this yang, yo, you better do what I'm telling you to do, otherwise you're going to be sorry for what's going to happen. Come on with that nonsense. Just let it happen. Stop with all the Woof tickets. And this motherfucker sells a lot of Woof tickets. Everybody sells a lot of Woof tickets, talking a lot of shit. All of this shit before. I'm not having all of that. Yo, man, you're going to be sorry for what's happened. Nah. You don't talk like that. That's what bitch-ass motherfuckers talk about. Trying to scare you out of something before you even get into it. So, he winds up hurling homeboy through the door, but this not here. This should have been a big splash page where homeboy go flying through the door and shit flying all over the place, and everybody's conveniently out of the way. The doors come flying open. Everybody's down here around, but nobody's in the path for this dude. I didn't even see that this dude got thrown through the door. I thought he kicked his way through. I didn't even see that. I said, yo, what the hell happened? Where's the fucking fight? And that's the same thing that happens later on with the Santuan shit. They cut out the main fucking the part that's crucial to what happens. Like him getting thrown through the fucking doors. We should have seen that. We should have seen that. Homeboy's already in here on the ground, and we don't see the doors blasting open. And this motherfucker is supposed to be an artist that's been in the business for a few years. I don't know exactly how many, but come on, you got to know that this is a scene that should be in the book. This dude come flying through the doors getting slammed off of the hinges and going flying, and there's nobody behind the doors. Nobody got caught. Nobody got caught. And all this whole area is just so conveniently not occupied. Not even the path down the middle to where this dude lands. So nobody gets hit by this flying body coming through the doors. Nobody gets hit by the doors of this body getting thrown through the doors. So again, how strong is he? Because he hurled this dude through 2 doors and clear across the fucking floor. So how strong is he? Please let me know, Eric July. Then he basically everybody starts setting up to whip his ass. Everybody gets in line and starts getting ready to whip his ass, and he's talking about, yo, this don't have to be all that bad. What do you mean it don't have to be that bad? You just threw one of their homeboys practically through a wall. You threw him through 2 doors and laid this dude up in the fucking place, and you don't expect that all of these dudes are gonna want to fuck you up? They don't know who you are, even though they should have suspected something was up, because this dude came flying through 2 doors and flew like 20 feet across the motherfucking room. So they should have known something was up with homeboy and not been all of that quick to want to run up in there. But homeboy comes out and says, yo, man, I got the warning, and big man is coming down. So I figured this is Santuan coming back for round number 2. And he's telling him, yo, hold that door open. So they start fighting again. And again, this is bullshit to me, because it's Avery who got powers against a bunch of nobodies. This is not Batman. So his fight sequences is integral, and you want to see those fight sequences, because his fighting is what makes Batman Batman. No, this guy's got superpowers, so him fighting a bunch of regular nobodies don't mean much of shit to me. So, but the artwork is good, the sequence works. I'm not mad at it. Only besides for the point I just made. And then he hurls this dude to the floor, and it seems that this very same dude, this is something hard that I found also from my own drawings. Dudes that are prone on the ground, it's hard for you to get the perspective right. So the dude on the ground usually looks 10 feet taller than the dude standing up. I did this with a drawing with a female. And the dude that was on the ground, I had to draw him a couple of times, because the dude on the ground who was in this prone position, he looked massive compared to her. But it came off okay, because it's a female. The female was the protagonist, and he was a bad guy, so him being bigger than her, it looked okay. The problem here is that he doesn't look, the guys don't look bigger than him in here. They look wider, but they don't look that much taller. And this dude looks huge. He looks at least 3 to 4 feet taller than Avery. If you check out his body size and the length of his leg, this is not that much foreshortened. So if you stand this dude up, this dude is going to be towering over 2 to 3 feet, 2 to 4 feet, I would say. This dude is massive, both in height and mass. So I thought this was Santuan at first. But he kicks the dude. Did he break homie's back? And hurls him through the air into these other 2 dudes. I thought was wild. Because again, what is your world? I don't understand your universe. You're not letting me know anything about the power sets and how strong your heroes and your bad guys are. So I'm just watching, and I'm frustrated because I don't know about you're supposed to be giving me exposition, letting me know what your universe is about, and your Bible, your limitations on your Bible, and setting up your world building, and I'm not getting any world building. I got 2 things about the hospital, and that they kept the database, and that they're not supposed excerpts should from what I gathered, excerpts should be on another floor, or on some specific floor or something like that. But again, I'm not told. So you're not doing nothing as far as your world building. And again, so here comes Santuan. He pushes homie out the way, and everything. And here's a major flaw for your artist and for Eric July. They're inside. He threw this dude through the 2 doors, right? We already passed that part. And here comes Santuan. We're inside, and they're setting up to fight. They're talking, which I don't understand why they're talking, but okay, they're talking. He's talking all kinds of shit, and all of a sudden, okay, they're looking like they're outside, right? Because look at that. Look like concrete, but there's still people outside on the ground. There's still people on the ground. Look at this. There's no lines in the ground here. There's no concrete slabs. So all of this becomes what? Sidewalk here? And I'm saying that is because he's stretching. And while this dude is talking, he's letting him stretch. So what? You got your ass handed to you before, and now because you stretch, that's going to make you more capable to fight this dude who is faster and stronger than your ass? I don't get it. But he's sitting here talking all this nonsense about being an accept. Is that here's where he's talking that shit? Oh yeah, we should have ensured your defeat. This dude is a ghetto dude with a grill in his mouth. He's a ghetto thug with a grill in his teeth, and he's talking about like he's Ra's al Ghul, talking to Batman or one of the Robins or something. We should have ensured your defeat. Really? You're a thug dude. No, we should have made sure your ass was put down. That's more like the language. One of the reviews that I watched said that he had dialects, that Eric July had dialects in his book so that every character sounded like a different character. No, they don't. No, they don't. The black characters sound somewhat different, a little bit. And for the most part, there's times when they come out of that and they sound more like characters who are worldly when you're a fucking hood rat. But like this part where, we should have ensured your defeat. Come on, man, we should have ensured your defeat. Nah, no, this is a thug dude. That's some hood dude with a grill in his mouth. He should have been like, yo, man, we should have fucking made sure your ass was put down. We should have made sure your ass was taken out. We should have let your ass slide. Some shit like that. The terminology should have been way different. So he allows him to stretch and start talking all this exposition bullshit. Why are you letting him talk? Tell the boss to check your security cam out back. Tell your boss to check that. Do not credit heroism, because he told him that he was a hero. He think he's some kind of hero. This is why you heroes often end up dead. And he's like, nah, this ain't got nothing to do with heroism. What? This ain't got nothing to do with heroism. When all of this takes place, blame yourself, but credit me. Oh, come on, man. This is corny dialogue, man. This is corny dialogue. This shit does not need to be said. He should have did a neck roll or something like Bruce Lee did. What's all of this arm stretching bullshit? Like that's gonna make some kind of difference in the fight. it's absolutely stupid. So then he goes on to start talking about accepts and why he doesn't like the term accepts. And they're sitting again with this exposition. Why are they sitting there across each other, not wailing, not throwing blows, not shooting joints? What the fuck is this about? Oh, I don't appreciate accepts because it kind of puts us in a basket. And fuck all that bullshit. So yeah, that's what he's saying. If you think you're special, if you're special, they call you an accept. You and I know that's a generalization. We differ in many ways, different paths to 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 being what we are. A scale. What? Everything that we do is generalization. We are different in many ways. We take different paths. It's a scale? What? What are you talking about? You sound like you're saying that you're on a spectrum. Doy? What is wrong with you? You on the spectrum, bro? It makes no fucking sense. Who gives a fuck about what you think about being an accept when you about to throw down with the dude that you just got finished handling? It makes no fucking sense, man. It makes no sense. And this is why I'm not fond of the term accept, because it's a generalization. Who gives a fuck? Why should anybody? Why should Avery give a fuck about this? Why should Aunt Santuan give a fuck? And why should I give a fuck about his opinion about what an accept is and his generalization terms? This is bullshit. Again, the only good head in the book. So he starts shooting joints, and motherfuckers say you shouldn't have all this talking during a fight, which I agree. Motherfuckers is busily hurling themselves at persons. You're not trying to fucking talk while you throwing a punch. So he throws a punch. He slips it, and he rotates backwards, and then jumps and does a flying kick in his back. And then Santuan says, yo, when did you learn to do that shit? What? What is this? What move is this? By the time homeboy gets over here to throw the punch, he's right here. You can see right here. He's but inches from the dude, but he spins around and leaps into the dude's back that quickly? Really? Okay. Again, what are the power sets? How strong are they? And what's so big about this move that it's a surprise to Santuan? Again, why all of a sudden is he so much more adept than he was before? I don't understand it, but they go on, and this is the stuff that we seen in the campaign. Okay, the big splash page with them coming at, but what happens? Again, doink, they get bounced back. Where's the scene where they come together? This is it. I want to see some kind of contact right here that pushes them two back. What did they belly bump? What did they do, man? What the fuck happened here? But they're being both pushed backwards. Why? Why? How strong is he? How strong is he? Why is he bumped back at same distance that he's bumped back? He just got finished fucking him up a couple of hours ago. So why is he comparable now? Why are they both even? When they come together, he should have been pushed back more because we understand him to be the stronger one so far. He threw this dude for a mile, a half a mile. Then he rushes homie and jumps at him. Why would you do that? You already understand how fast he is. What kind of martial arts or training is he doing? Is it just boxing? And even then, he would understand that if you leaping at somebody, you lose control of your actions because you're off the ground for several feet. And this gives the other guy an opportunity to do what he wants if he's fast enough and he's watching you and he can see what you're doing. And this is something that he can clearly see what he's doing. So he grabs him by the arm and then slams him into the ground. This part should have been right into the ground. Why hold him up? He should have just hurled him right over, right into the ground, like that. It should have went from this one to this one. Hurl him right into the ground, and then picks him up yokes him up by the hoodie, basically by the neck again, throws him in the air, and then punches him. How strong are they? Please, again, I need to know. And he goes flying, but he slides across the ground this time. This is why I'm asking, how strong is he? Because to me, he should have went through this wall. He threw this dude for half a mile. This is just 20 feet, 100 feet. He should have punched this dude through the fucking wall. He gets up like nothing happened, even though he just slammed him again, the same move that knocked him out the first time. He slams him, and then punches him. So even worse. And he gets right up. How strong, how durable. We don't understand the power sets. We don't understand the power gauge. How strong are they? How durable? This should not be cliffhanger. This should be exposition that you let people know so we can get into the book. You taking me completely out of the game because the story is lackluster. Even though you got a story, there's potential if you add a bunch of shit. I can see you got writing chops. The stuff flows. The timing, some of it is great, and a lot of there's things that I've heard about other people's campaigns that is just throws it way off, that their books is way fucking garbage, that the writing was absolutely trash. But yours isn't trash, it's just that you left too much out. It's like you purposely did this shit in order to leave some kind of mystery. No, this is not the stuff that should be mystery. Okay. Then he gets up and runs himself towards the wall, and he goes, hold on, I thought you had more fucking finesse or some shit than that. It's more dignity. I thought you had more dignity than that. But if he thinks that this dude had more dignity, why does he start running behind him? If his wall, he says, no, you can't escape. You have nowhere to go. So if he has nowhere to go, why does he run up behind him? It makes no fucking sense to me. He would walk to him like Jason. Walk up to him. There's nowhere to go. You're trapped, buddy. What are you doing? You're supposed to be an ex-superhero. You should have a little bit more dignity than this. Stand up and fight. He runs and he jumps to the wall like Spider-Man and digs his toes into it. Why? Why would he need to do this? If the dude is bum rushing towards him, then you jump to the wall and you kick off immediately and jump right back in his chest, which what they have him do. But why do you need to have his toes dug in the wall? It's a bounce-off move. It's a parkour move. You bounce off the wall and right back into the opposite direction. This is a parkour. This is not dig your toes into the wall move time. But he hurls him back. Again, how strong is he? Because you've gone from, and this is where I missed it. I'm looking at this shit and I'm going, yo, he bumps him and he knocks him back and he goes flying and they go through the wall. How strong is he? This was like 100 feet away. The wall is like 100 feet away, and he bounces off of that, slams into him, and pushes him across this whole entire stretch through the wall. And then I realized, hold on a second. They're out on the street. These are cars. When did they get outside? Yo, they was just inside. Santuan came down. Bum rushed out this door. This is inside the building. This is where he fucking all these dudes up a second ago. This was inside the building. And then he's here talking. This has to be still inside. Somewhere here is still inside the building. Nowhere here does it say, all right, let's step outside. It says, tell the boss, the security cam out back. To check your security cam out back. And then the next thing you know, you don't know. You think they're still inside because there's bodies. But this is outside. That's why I was talking about the concrete slabs. They went from inside to outside, and you don't even know it. You don't realize that they're outside, and they're not even in the same vicinity of where the door was, because there was steps over here. There was steps and look at it. There's steps. It looks like a fire escape or some kind of back stepway and all of this shit. So, and then he comes up and this dude is literally on some kind of step right here. Right? Look at it. It's like a story up from the floor. So, what door did they go out of? And where are they now? I don't understand what's happening. All of a sudden, he's outside. We seeing daylight. When did this happen? Why was they fighting on the inside before and Santuan dragged his ass after he body checked this dude to the floor and then he skyrocketed his ass? Now, they miracled themselves from inside to outside and they didn't even let you know that. They didn't say, yo, let's step outside. Give us a little bit more room to play with. None of that. It's just this long exposition bullshit about accepts and this cornball bullshit about him, how you learn to do that. Then these corny bump back and this cornball fucking fight where he throws himself at the big dude for what fucking reason and gets slammed and he's outside. He's out in the fucking moonlight. I don't get this shit. And then he hurls himself off the wall, bounces off this wall, slams into homeboy, crosses whatever yard. Who knows how big this shit is? They don't show you any kind of setup. What do they call that? Establishing shot to where you could see what this area is. They just miraculously go from being inside to being next to these windows and shit here. We don't know whether it's inside or outside, to being, he gets slammed by this wall. We don't know. It looks like a parking lot. Why are they outside in the parking lot? When did this happen? And then all of a sudden, if he's out in the parking lot, what wall is he slamming to that leads directly to the street? That's not from the outside of the building, inside the building. What kind of club is this where they got all these retaining walls and they're big ass walls. They're not no small. These are big fucking walls. And they have all of these retaining walls. Yeah, so he knocks Santuan outside through the wall and he hops off him, and now all of a sudden Santuan is knocked out cold. So just because they crashed through a wall, I don't get it. Again, I'm gonna say it. What are their power sets? What are their abilities? Because this shit seems a little Humboldt. So the cops see this shit. These guys come through the wall, and they immediately say, "Yo, that's Santuan. Yo, what's going on? Yo, put your hands up. Get your hands in the air." And he's like, "Yo, why you taking his side? You ain't seen nothing, but you ain't seen what's going on, but you automatically take his side." And they're like, "Yo, get on the ground." And he's out. He bounces, and they don't bother. Nobody bothers to shoot any. The only time they shot guns in this book is at Yaira, but nobody's ever. He even said, Avery even said that this is around the time y'all whip out y'all pieces if y'all want to, and they don't. So again, I don't understand if Avery's bulletproof. I don't understand none of that. They don't shoot at him. These motherfuckers had their guns out, aiming at him, but they don't shoot. So that's what I'm saying. I don't understand if this guy's bulletproof and they just let him run off. The cops just let a black dude run away with him without putting no lead in the air, and he runs down this alleyway, and he bounces up off of a few things, and he disappears into the night. And they come through, and they said, "Well, he got away. We got to put APB out. He ain't gonna get far." And they said, "Well, he might get away if nobody's looking in the air, because they don't know if he could fly or not." And he said, "If he couldn't fly, why didn't he? If he could fly, why didn't he?" And then he just runs off this building here. He jumps down, but they don't show him land. He's in the car, and the lights on and the tires turn. So I figure he's in there. And then you see the car on the highway, and he's gone, and he went to drive to this car. I mean, to this house, which is a small house. Take note, it's a small house. One looked like a 1 or 2 car garage. It looked like a 2-car garage, maybe 2 to 3 bedrooms, about that, plus a bath. So it could be bigger than that, but I'm not much. 2 to 3, maybe 4 bedrooms at best, and a basement and stuff, right? So he rings the bell. Homegirl comes to the door. I don't know who, because he didn't really say until you get inside, and she asks what happened. And then we realize that it's his sister, Alana. And they basically saying about how it went down and nothing really happened. He don't know nothing. But whatever it is, the girl, Jasmine, is in deep because she was scared and all of this crap. And she needed to keep herself hidden because he knows about them. But because Darren knows, he don't know where Avery is or located, but he can find Alona, whatever her name, and and uh, and he's telling her to keep a gun with her and all of this stuff. They really wasn't talking much here. Again, it's not enough exposition. There should have been a lot more things. But how could he say anything when he don't know nothing? Because nothing was really revealed throughout the whole book. Nothing. We don't know if Jasmine is a hoe. We don't know nothing. We just know that she was walking the street. We don't know nothing. There's no kind of exposition that really took place. There's no world building. We don't have any information that changed from when she called him and asked him to find the girl. That's just about the only thing he did. We don't know anything else. And the little girl comes out. I think her name is Vassie. Her name is Vassie. That's what they call her, Vassie. Even though I have no idea. What's up with these fucking weird names? Fucking Vassie. I guess it's Vasica. Vaseline. Yo, Vaseline. Yo, alright. It's Vassie. Come here, Vaseline. Yo, little Vaseline. Yo, so it's 2 o'clock in the morning, and she jumps up. She ain't seen him in a minute, and here's some more exposition that we should know about. He starts talking about the ex-husband. And we don't get to know whether he's dead. We just know that he ain't there. Right? He's a brother-in-law. He was his favorite brother. He said he liked this dude. He's his brother-in-law. He liked him. He says right here, hold on, let me get my glass. Because, like I said, my vision is blurred from staring at this motherfucking monitors and that white light. And, yeah, it really fucks with my eyes. The shit get blurry. It takes me some exercising to get the blurriness out of my eyes. I do eye exercises. You know, up, down, side to side, as fast as I can for as long as I can. And that usually, I believe that your muscles are staring in your eyes. You're staring in one spot for so long that your muscles get lazy. And so the cornea on your eye the muscles get relaxed and your cornea kind of relaxes. And so your vision goes off. And when you do the exercises, you get those muscles that pull on your eye again, and that kind of straightens out your cornea, and you kind of get your vision back. And so far, so good. That's what every time I get this problem, that's what I do, and it usually adjusts itself. And writing traditionally, that also, because I write very small, so that also helps me to regain my focus. Okay, sorry about that. It says here, yeah, he was a good man, could not have asked for a better brother-in-law. And so, I don't know if he died, if the dude, I just assuming that he died, but what's so wrong about saying right here where she goes, yeah, she really misses you, and he says, yeah, it's been a while since Carol is gone. This is why I don't understand with these names. Is it Gerald or Terrence mixed together, or is it just Gerald that he changed the G into a T? Because these names, I don't know, black folks have been doing that shit for some few years now. They want to change a white name into a black name by changing a couple of letters or adding a couple of letters, like Latanya. It's the stupidest shit I ever seen. You're not being original. You're being very stupid, and all you're doing is giving your children these ridiculous names that makes no fucking sense. You're not changing your slave name. You're not. So anyway, she says that it's been that Vassy, you're supposed to be in bed. I'm sorry, Avery. He says it's all good. I should have come by and see her more. Anyway, I know it's been tough on you without Terrell. And then she says, she's handled it well. She's handled this about as well as anybody could for I thought it said it for a young girl. For someone as as anybody her age could, but she doesn't ask about, but she does ask about you a lot. So okay, when he says that it's been hard on the both of y'all without Terrell, how come she couldn't have said, yeah, it's been about a year since he's been passed, or it's been about 6 months since he left, or something to let you know what the fuck are you talking about? This is what I'm talking about. It's very simple. 2 words added to this word bubble, and everything changes. It shifts into a more clear statement that I can understand what you're talking about. But she's talking about him missing her, the girl, Miss Vassy missing Avery, and he's talking about Terrell. And then she goes, yeah, it's been tough, but she asks about you a lot. Why? How come y'all talking about 2 different things? How come you can't keep it on one subject? Yeah, it's about Terrell, so let us know something about Terrell, and then he can say, yeah, he's my favorite brother-in-law. But she goes off on something different. Yeah. So let us know what happened. He's been gone. He passed for a couple of years. It's been 6 months. It's been something. Let us know something about the dude. Why he ain't there. But they don't. You don't let us know this, Eric. So basically, this is the end. But she does go on to. This is some strange shit. Then the kid, he's putting her back in bed, and she starts talking about, yeah, I talked to grandma, and I heard grandma over talking, and you're super strong, and I let you pick me up so that I can gauge your strength, and because you pick me up, and other people pick me up, their muscles hurt when they pick me up because I'm bigger, but your muscles don't. What? She's 8 years old. She should understand what strain means. So I understand when somebody's picking me up and it's harder for them to pick me up because I'm heavier. Say it something like that. If you don't want to say strain, but your muscles hurt because they try to pick me up, and really, an 8-year-old is that dimmy? That dim? Are they? I don't know. I usually 8-year-olds, by that time they coming up with some of the shit that you don't expect them to be able to understand. But okay, he plays it off because she says that she knows that he's super strong because grandma, and that she's been testing him, and he says, nah, baby girl, I've been working out, so there's the reason why you think I'm stronger is just because I've been lifting a lot of weights. And she goes, so I'm wrong then? And he goes, well, we'll talk about this some other time. I'm out. And then when he's leaving, so he's gaslighting his little baby girl niece. And then when she's leaving, when he's leaving, homegirl says, he's saying how smart she is, and she goes, yeah, well, I already understood that, so come with me to the office. She takes him in the room where she shows him security footage on a projection screen. This is not a TV. What kind of company does she work for? What is this, a mimeograph thing? Or some kind, one of those, it's a projection. It's a projection. Why would they have projection? Why would they have a projection film? Why would they have projection film for security? Wouldn't it be on a disc or some kind of a flash drive? Why would it? And then she would be just showing it on a big TV. What the fuck is this projection shit? And that you would have security footage on this projection shit. I don't understand. What year is it? I don't understand. I don't understand, man. This is what I'm talking about. There's so much shit that just puzzles the fuck out of me. And I'm an old dude. I'm supposed to be the boomer. I'm supposed to be, you the ones that's supposed to be up on the new tech. Why would she be using a projection on the wall to show security footage of Jasmine in here? She says that this is the last time that we see Jasmine, and she was scared or some shit. And he's going into talking about, no, I don't think she was scared because the way she's moving and the way that she's looking out for her surroundings, no, it makes more sense that she's not afraid or mad. But no, if she's looking out for her surroundings and somebody's paying attention to what she's saying, yeah, anything she said could be looked after as something that she wants to secure, that she'll look around. Even if she was happy and she was talking loud, she would stop, but the only difference then you would see a smile on her face. So that's why I wouldn't say that she was happy. But fear or anger, why wouldn't she have fear or anger? That doesn't make any sense. No, so his psychological breakdown, him trying to make this dude into Batman, the detective, fails because, no, if you're afraid or you're mad, you're gonna be quiet, you're gonna be secretive, you don't want people to hear what you're talking about. So no, she's in control, he says. The way that she's observing her surroundings and trying to control the situation, she's in control. This has more to do with her, what did he say? This has more to do with something may have happened too early. Something may have happened too early. Something she thought she could hold off. What? How do you see that? There's no dialogue coming across from what they show. There's no dialogue coming out of the projection. So how does he know that something could have happened too soon just from her talking on a phone? You have to assume that there's no dialogue coming out. So, and he's just judging on her body movement. How do you say that it's from something that happened too soon from watching her body movements? I don't understand that. It makes no fucking sense. He's too smart all of a sudden to be some dude who just likes to run and gun, go in head first. Now all of a sudden he's a fucking detective and he's Mr. Psychology who can figure out some weird ass shit as to her something happening too early or something that she thought that she could control that she couldn't hold off as long as she thought. How do you get that from watching somebody talk on the phone? Unless you're reading lips or some shit. But no, he's fucking Mr. fucking Detective Extraordinaire. Doctor Who did it. And this shit is just strange to me. And he's making up all of this fucking shit about what's happening when he couldn't even explain what the fuck is going on in your quick ass little universe, bro. But all of a sudden, homeboy is a fucking doctor of detection, and he can figure out. He's fucking Sherlock Holmes, and he can figure out all of this shit. What? My dear Watson, what? Come on, man. So yeah, this kind of fucking threw me for a fucking loop, and then after this, it gets even worse, man, because he tells her to keep a hold of the gun, and we go to that he should, that everywhere she goes she should keep that gun close, that he got her. But if she's working for some major corporation, why can't she get a gun on her own? Why does she need some ex-superhero to get her a gun? So there's a lot of shit that I didn't understand. And just I didn't really need it to be explained, but it would have been nice if these little minutia, because it's the minutia that throws your stories off. It's the really small shit that can throw a lot of story, and this is a lot of little shits that's throwing me off on his story. If I tell you one thing, I wouldn't buy a second book. I would not buy a second book if it wasn't for the fact that I'm trying to give them some support, and that I want to see if he could pull this out. But you definitely, Eric, you definitely need to tighten your shit up, and you need a better story. You definitely need it, because this guy is chump change. I don't see. You said that you wanted to work on the street level shit. This dude is way too street level. He's in here talking about how he's big time and how influential he is and how much big thug type dude he is, and how on top of the game in Flores Park he is, and that other smaller guys, they ain't been coming to try and test him, and because they knew if they did, they get their head taken off, and all of this nonsense about how big he is. But you ain't seeing shit about. You never seen one thing to show exactly what his scope is. this is really the first time, because you see this Asian dude right here in the room with him. I even didn't consider that there was other people in the room with him because they focused so much on just him and her talking. We never got a POV of him looking at the room and seeing all of these faces of these mobster bosses or whoever they are. We don't even know who these motherfuckers are. Are they mob bosses? Are they who? But this Asian dude lets me think that this is either some triad or some Yakuza or some kind of Chinese organization or Asian organization, and the rest of these dudes are some kind of white groups that he's and why are they following him? Why is they all here meeting up with him instead of him going to their location? What makes him top dog? Because I've seen nothing but petty minor shit. He's a club owner and a pimp. That's all I've seen so far that I could tell, that I think I could tell. I don't even know for sure. I know he's a club owner. I know he has some kind of dirty dealings. I don't know anything about his dirty dealings. Why is all of this so fucking secretive? Why is all of this shit so cryptic? And so he gives the girl a gun. He gives the girl a gun right here and says that you'll know what to do later on when the time comes. Some shit like that. Here it goes. It'll be a message for all my history. It'll be a history for all my. No, it'll be a message for all my history with them gives me an advantage. I don't know why he put that three dot shit, the etc. shit, separating. I don't understand that. It kind of throws off the pace right there. That dialogue right there. I don't see why he separated the my and my history. Okay, so he says that it's my history that would give him an advantage, and I don't know what he was thinking of at the time, but it appears to me that he was kind of stuttering because he's thinking about something, but I don't understand it. But anyway, if there's some kind of interruption while he was handing the girl a gun or whatever it is, was that what it is? But anyway, he goes on to say how I'm sending a memo in the morning with details of this man and what I expect from you. Expect from who? Is he expecting the girl to do it? Because it looked like he's handing her the gun. And you'll immediately realize one thing. And then he says some stupid shit like, the one thing that they're to realize is that certain things ain't off limits. Don't you think that I would have been more impactful for the last thing that this dude says to be nothing is off limits instead of certain things ain't off limits? The dialogue comes across weak. Like I said, this is the last word that this dude is saying to make an impact on him getting revenge, even though you don't really understand who he's talking about. Because like I said, he's talking about some jumped up drug dealers and crime bosses wanting to come and do something, and then it just slides into him discussing Avery and his sister, even though he doesn't mention them. It just says that his history with them, and we don't know if that's his history with the police, because it's clear that the police must be on the payroll if they're looking to protect Santuan instead of looking to arrest both of them. So is it the police he's talking about? Is it Avery? Anything could be said here because everything is so cryptic, mysterious, vague. Why is the whole story vague? And then it skips on to the whole uniform thing. I immediately have to ask, if he was quitting, why not burn the suit? Why take it back to this dude, this tailorer dude? And then I heard two reviews. Like I said, I seen around 5 reviews. 2 dudes mentioned this Taylor dude, and one of them said that he was an interplanetary Which I said, what? That doesn't make any sense. Who the fuck is going to travel to Earth just to get your fucking superhero suit? What kind of idiotic shit is that? And so I didn't really believe that. And then the other dude, he said, yeah, he was some kind of worldwide type of thing. He had a business that was worldwide. That made more sense to me. And then I read this shit, and he literally says, yeah, some people, they're not from around here. They pay for it with these exotic shits, materials. So I go, this exotic shit don't sound like man-made, and why would they be paying with this shit? And then they said, yeah, it's not from this world. And so right there they let you know that this is some outer space shit. Then motherfuckers come all the way. And he says that this dude used to make wrestling outfits. So I'm like, what the fuck? How do you go from making wrestling outfits to intergalactic outfits for everybody who wants one? How the fuck do you make that leap? Like I said, your storytelling is crazy as fuck, Eric, man. I'm sorry. I'm not sorry, but yo, your shit is fucking crazy as fuck. How the fuck is this dude, and who the fuck is he? This dude look like a fucking Indian kid right here. He just don't have the red dot. And he don't look like a brother. He look like an Indian cat. And even here, this dude look like an Indian. Right here, most of all, he looked like an Indian cat. And here, this one really made me laugh because I thought he was a Haji for sure. I was like, go away, yo, man. And he's talking, the first thing I was thinking, what are you talking about? I am not talking to you. You cannot be coming here talking about my product. So that's what I was thinking. This Haji dude is, this Indian cat is here, and he's got he's a tailor for intergalactic shit or interstellar. What motherfuckers is gonna travel across the fucking galaxy in order to fucking come and get one of this dude's outfits? Come on. And how does he get the, and he's talking right here. He says, what the hell happened here? So I'm thinking, what the fuck? Is this a place demolished? Because he said, what the hell happened? What the hell? He didn't say what's going on. Places changed. Some I didn't recognize it when I was walking in. He didn't know what the hell happened here. As if somebody tore out a couple of the walls or some shit. He's like, nah, there's just been some renovations and we've upgraded a lot of shit. It's not just a regular shop. This motherfucker is it handles a whole lot more than that. And then he goes on to talk about how he's intergalactic and he gets all of these rare materials and shit. Oh man, I understand what you're trying to do, bro, but this is not how you world build. You should know this. You're the big comic book dude who reads all of these comics. How do you not know that this ain't the way to go with your storytelling? For your first book, this dude, matter of fact, Avery shouldn't have been your first dude. You should not have worked on no street level dude because you needed something more. You needed more kick to the to your storytelling. Because this street level shit is not worth $30. It's not. It's not. It's it could have been if you made it something more viable, something that's pushing something that gives you something to look for. But I don't see anything, not even with these new group in the back that you put in here. I don't care because I don't care about Avery and this first original story. Why am I going to care about these dudes? As far as I know, you're going to do the same exact thing. What you do, you start realizing, because they talk about their demon, they kill demons in their lyrics to their song, and then they go out back. No, they're still in here, but they talk. This is the songs, and he says thank you. They finish with the shit, and you hear people talking, and I think right here you should hear them talking about what's going on, because out here they're not talking about anything. You should see the group talking something different. These are the concert goers, so it's okay for them to talk about the concert. But if these are the I would have had these guys over here behind the railing be the group, and they're talking about this shit that comes up in the next page, because here they're talking about I don't have a clue what this shit is. I know you into the music game, but I'm not that. I'm not a roadie. I'm not any of that shit, so I can't possibly understand what a tear down is. Is that what y'all say when y'all taking down all of the equipment and boxing it back up because they're on tour? So is that what he says he's gonna help you tear down? So I'm guessing that's what it is. I guess not everything needs to be explained, especially if it's not relevant. But you're saying things that I have no clue what it is, and I think he did it again in here because he talks about the this guy's sense, his instincts. It would seem your instincts are correct. Now I sense them. Sense who? Who are you sensing? Why can't we even hear the name of these? I sense the Krylar. I sense the fucking the glyph. I sense the chromians. Anything. I don't give a fuck. Why is everything a fucking mystery? And then I think he used some other terminology that has to do with banned stuff. Inside of Earth. Oh yeah. No, it must have happened further back, but it's not relevant because again, it wasn't relevant to the story. He says stuff that I don't know what it means, and it sounds like it's something to have to do with being in a band or a group, that somebody who does that, knows that world, would know that. And he doesn't explain it, and I guess, like I said, everything doesn't need to be explained because it's not relevant to the story. But he goes on, this side of Earth has always had abnormal occurrences, but I fear this is a threat that only we can truly comprehend. Who is we? And then he even goes on to say over here that if it is time, sorry man, I only got one hand. If it is time, they will soon find out. Who is they? Why can't you say the name of these bad guys, and why can't you say if it's time to bring in the cavalry? Because they say something about bringing in the cavalry. We don't want to do that too early and bring the cavalry in. So if these guys are the cavalry that you're talking about, what's wrong with saying who the bad guys are, and what's wrong with saying who the cavalry is? If it is time, then the whoever, the Magafalians will know. The Terranians, the Gustavians, anything, I don't care. Why can't you say who they are? Again, why is everything so fucking cryptic? You're supposed to be world building and letting people know something so that they can stew over and mull over for the next book, for these storylines, but you're not giving me anything. It's all this cryptic secrecy shit. You're being extremely vague, and I don't care. I don't care about the storylines because you're being too fucking cryptic. You're not allowing me to get into the story because you're not giving me a world to dive into. And so, with this superhero outfit shit, the last thing I gotta say, it made me laugh, is that he talked about his outfit, and he didn't want to give him the old outfit without any renovations to it. I'm saying, if you had this motherfucking suit for years, why didn't you just renovate the bitch? Why didn't you just fucking update the motherfucker? Why would you fucking... And that's another thing. If he was quitting, He said he gave it back to him because he wanted to ensure that he wouldn't come back to it. But then you do. You could have thrown that shit in the corner of your closet, in a trunk somewhere. He got this big-ass ranch. He could have stored it anywhere. He could have burnt the motherfucker and came here for a new suit, which would have made way more sense to me than going all the way back to where this dude is to give him back the suit for him to put it on ice so that later on he could come back and get it. It's stupid. It's stupid. It makes no sense. Why would he give it back to him? He's going to put it back on the market for somebody else to put their sweaty balls in? Here, yo, man, you want to wear this Isom outfit? Yo, it's all, I washed all the sweaty nut smell out of it. Come on, man. This shit is stupid. And then down here, we see that they got scientists. He's got scientists. Because he talk about he wants a material with more durability in it. So I'm saying, okay, where does this tailor get the money to hire that type of scientific expertise? These motherfuckers get paid a lot of money, hundreds of thousands of dollars to come up with new materials. Where does this dude, some tailor, get the money and the scientific know-how to fucking be inventing new material, new type of cloth that's more durable and all of this shit for outer space shit? Because this is what you're fucking talking about. Interstellar shit. But this motherfucker who looks like a murder out here talking about this motherfucker here is the one who's come up with all of this shit. I had no idea. And then he says, hey, I don't want to give it to you. I don't want you putting it on because it ain't been updated. It's this old shit. And then he gives it to him to put on. He gives it to him without any updates to put on. And he goes into this fucking coffin to change. He's this interstellar costume merchant, and his changing room is the size of a fucking coffin. Come on, man. Come on, man. Oh, man, I know it's nitpicky. I know I'm being an asshole. I know. But, yo, like I said, it's so much. I have no choice. I have no choice but to be an asshole. And so he comes out and he says it fits. And that's it. That's it. He took out Aunt Santuan. So where's the story leading? Where's the cliffhanger that leads me into the next story besides finding out about the girl? Again, for the same fucking reason why the story started. Finding out about the girl. He did all this shit and he ain't found out shit about the girl. He ain't found out shit about Darren. He ain't found out shit. Now, this is how I would have handled it. I'm going to fucking come back. The next video, I'm going to pause this one and because it's about to cross over and it's going to split the video anyway. So I'm going to come back and the next video would be me talking about what he should have did with this particular story, and then I'm going to say what I would have did if I was going to start a story with this low-level shit. I wouldn't have started with this low-level. My story might starts off with some interstellar shit, a meteorite crashes to Earth, and all of this shit, and then the substance that was the problem back in the 60s, somebody steals it in today's world. So right there, everything is open. What's this substance? Why these people stole it? All of this stuff. So by the time the second book comes, it's just going to open up more into what's behind this whole thing. And then I got other characters who's got an origin story and all these other things that's going to keep you engaged and turning pages. This, I don't have that. So I'm going to be back in the next video talking about what he should have did and then what I would do in my story, or if this was my story. So, like, subscribe, do that YouTube thing. Thanks for listening. I'll be back. I'm out.